Fulcher, McCarthy, Gates, Donalds, Gallagher, McCarthy, Gallego, Jeffries, Garamendi, Jeffries, Garbarino, Garbarino, Mike Garcia, McCarthy, Robert Garcia, Jeffries, Garcia of Illinois, Jeffries, Garcia of Texas, Jeffries, Jimenez, McCarthy, Golden of Maine, Jeffries, Goldman of New York, Jeffries, Gomez, Jeffries, Tony Gonzalez, McCarthy, Vicente Gonzalez, Jeffries, Good of Virginia, Donalds, Gooden of Texas, McCarthy, Gosar, Donalds, Gottheimer, Jeffries,
Hey, George, is it a joke? I mean, yes, it is a joke. So I get this news thing saying that there was that the oh, let me find it so I can say it right. The headline: There are currently zero members of the U.S. House of Representatives, and so I'm thinking, this is the time. There's no one on the floor, no one in Congress, no one, because without a speaker they can't function like they normally do. And so eh, I'm thinking, now's the time. But they're doing the vote right now to see who's going to get it. And is Jeffries any better than McCarthy? Really? I don't know. I don't, and so I wanted y'all's opinion on that. And I think Dee is going to join me. Hopefully, Eric, so we can talk about some of the things in the news today. And I don't usually do news, but there are some disturbing things going on. And this is one of them. I know. I muted it just to explain sort of kind of what I'm doing, but hey Jake, how are you doing? So far Jeffries has been staying ahead. What's the world thinking? Well, that's a good question, George. You should come up here and talk to me. The world's not thinking, not the, I call them puppet masters, but the people are thinking. So many things are going on right now that we keep thinking is going to flip things. We got the trial on the 6th. Is it Brunson Brothers? Everyone seems to think that that's going to change things. I don't like dates and thinking that it's going to make a difference, but how, there she is. Hey, sweetie. How are you today?
Got bad internet, so
Uh-oh.
hopefully I can hang with you for a bit. What's going on?
I'm just watching this craziness at the house and just so much is going on. So much is going on. Do you?
Oh, you know,
This one
okay.
really got to me. Tiana, you gotta have internet. I just got mine back this morning.
Am I still with you?
That's why I didn't go on last. Yes, in and out. So I'm gonna read this one to you, and you tell me what can we do for this. This is a wife of a J6 political prisoner speaks out after he is beaten and blinded in one eye by prison guards. Asks for Americans for their support. Ryan Samsell. They have cuffed him, beaten him, solitary confinement, no contact with anybody. Outside help had to call the EMS to get him help. He had a skull fracture and blood clots
Oh my
from being
goodness.
beaten. Yes, it just makes me sick. And I'm like, what can we
These
do?
people are
What,
all abusive criminals. They're all abusive criminals, Bonnie. And what we have to do is look at our laws and our Constitution and recognize we have a corporation that is a fraud, and we have a United States of America that isn't a fraud. And it's not really hard to see the difference right now, who the we the people are and who the people are that are working against Americans. You know, it's
Benjamin?
it's real easy for me to see by now. I think most of us can, can't we?
Yes, and that's what I've been hearing ever since they were put in there is that they have been being treated worse than and these are military people saying it, worse than any
Mhm.
prisoner of war we have ever had. And
Well, that is, yeah. Go
it
ahead.
just it just breaks my heart. I've seen I've seen letters. Um,
Mm.
I know Cash Kelly is one of the prisoners, and he is one of the first people I started following on Facebook. Like way back there. That's how I met Hawk and um, several others. There's a I can't remember what it's called. Um, and they were the ones that I had seen the
The
on
Watchmen. The
site.
Watchmen, I think.
Yes,
Right?
they
Yes.
well maybe, but Cash Kelly and them, they were the ones that I
Uh-huh.
saw on site that day filming live. I saw what was happening as soon as they entered the lawn, and there was nothing going on that was
Mm-hmm.
nefarious at that time. And um, all of the video of that from all of them has been put out of view everywhere. Like, um, I tried to save it. I don't know if I did because we were asked to, so that there would be something somewhere eventually if needed. But just like it has been shown the past 2 years, um, it was a setup. It was not
Yes.
like it was said, and um, there's a lot of false information out there still about the whole thing. Hey, shift kicker, and it just there's got to be something we can do for those prisoners because and what's weird is the ones that actually caused problems are not
Mm-hmm.
prisoners.
Sure. Well, uh, the only clear thing to me that seems that should be done is that the three-letter agencies involved are all
Hey, Deepa.
the big TREA. And we all know it, and we're pretty sure that was not going to be easy, right? Been paying attention to nations and the leaders that have stepped down or died or been assassinated for standing up for righteousness. It's really not that hard to put this script together. It's just a matter of, I know this is what I know for sure. T is not going out a loser to Potato Head, but I don't know who he's batting for at this point. He's a winner for sure. Is he a winner for the people or is he a winner for the Masons, and the Jesuits?
Right.
We don't know. We really don't know. You've had Michael Flynn out there doing the son of the seven sons, whatever speech. And you want to think, oh, he just did that because, he's having to look like he's one of them right now. Oh, that's the reason why he put his hands up with those Satan symbols before and, grab him by the P. I mean, he's a politician, like D Dog says. Now he's a politician. He wasn't before, but maybe he was before. I mean, if like let's say he comes out with JFK Jr. and all these dead actors and actresses, that would sure stun everybody. But I just, at this point, it sounds like a really fun thing, but I have never put my hope in that. I
Yeah.
haven't been fighting for that at all. I
Thank
don't
you, John Jennings.
I wish there was more people. I'm just worried if we do lose internet. What I worry about for people is that, if and when, if this community gets shut down temporarily, you can find me on Rumble and Facebook or whatever, but you have to get plugged in with your own community people. You have to have people that will stick by you no matter what and not jump ship on you at the first sign of a rocky boat. You know what I mean? You have to have your people
Well,
in your
yeah.
corner in your community, because this online thing, while it's great and we love it, Bonnie, you and I have had a huge heart for trying to, just come together in righteousness and truth. And that's always been important to us. And no matter what, we're going to stand for those things. And it isn't always popular. We're not the most popular channels, are we?
No, and that's
I mean,
okay.
and that is fine with
And
me
you're
too. I'm not looking to be popular. I'm not looking to be in competition with other YouTube creators. That's not what I'm doing,
yeah,
so it's okay. But I appreciate those good YouTube creators, and a worker is worthy of his wage. I have no problem, throwing my money around wherever I want. It's nobody's business. I just don't want to see people wasting time or money with liars. I think that
yeah,
it's really dangerous and we need to be really careful, because not because believing liars and two-faced people is why we're in the mess that we're in this country. We're watching those two-faced people on TV every day. They say one thing to their constituents. They turn around. DC is a foreign entity. They treat American U.S. citizens as such. That is why those prisoners can't get freed. They're literally in a foreign nation. They're not in America, Bonnie. They're in Washington, D.C. They're in the District
not
of
all of
Columbia.
them. Not all of them. This one that I was just telling you about, he's in Virginia.
Oh, really? Go.
Yeah, Virginia prison.
I missed
He's
some of
been
it.
moved,
Uh-huh.
he's
But
been
he
moved to 3
was
different facilities.
arrested in D.C.
Uh-oh, you're cutting out, hon.
I think. Oh, I think the point is, Mo, get out of my chair. I just made a spot for you over there. I think the point is that it's a foreign nation. I think we have to see that. I think that's the point of them being held too, is, and why we have to be painfully made aware of it. I don't know how we can help them though. That defender of ants is down there helping them though. The one that called out the grifters in the trucker movement. He actually
Mhm.
has been working with Ashley Babbitt's mother. He told me that himself personally, and he works with a few other people, and he does a lot of his own little psyop stuff. Those are the people I'm following, and I'm going to be highlighting those people, like the scammer people last night. You know, the scammer people last night. There's
Mhm.
multiple. I found 2 more today. YouTube was like, oh, hey, scammer payback watches this channel also. It's like Trilogy Media is another one that does a lot of the
Mhm.
same things these other guys do. That's exciting, because you're seeing geeked up people making big changes right from their living room. You want to talk about a keyboard warrior? You can be a keyboard warrior, but are you really being effective? Are you really helping your community? Are you really helping how you think you are? Because I know that when I think I'm helping people, sometimes I'm only willing to help them how I want to help them, and sometimes they need me to help them in ways I don't want to help them. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And it's uncomfortable. I want to do
Yeah.
it. If they're my friend, I'm gonna, but
Mhm.
yeah, I just think we've got to be really careful. I'm not willing to throw my reputation away for 2 years on YouTube away with proven liars. That would be absolute sabotage for me, and that was the only word I could think of. As that
Yeah.
that scene was starting to unfold and people start to come back in our chats that are of the old, and I don't want anything to do with people that have hurt me and lied to me and used me up and threw me away like a piece of freaking garbage. I'll have nothing to do with people like that. Sorry if you can't understand that. You're certainly welcome to have at it. Good luck with them, people. Maybe you'll have a better experience. Maybe you won't be burned and used like everybody else I know was. Maybe it'll be special for you, right? Maybe it'll be special for you. But you got to be careful, man. Liars aren't worth it. I'm going to be stuck on the liar thing for a while because I think people are really unaware of how many scammers there are on YouTube, and they're very vulnerable, and it's really dangerous. It's because it really hurts when you get stabbed in the back, and it really hurts when you get betrayed. And people need to be made aware. Look, don't come here looking for your new best friend or your new lover. Or, you know what I mean?
Yep.
But I think we got the greatest people on YouTube in here. Look at, you got John Dunning in here. He never comes to my show.
Yeah.
He never comes
I'm
to my
sorry.
show. Eric, get up here. What do we have to beg you? What the heck? B. Benjamin. Devil Dog is here. Why? I didn't know Devil Dog was here. Hi, Devil
Yes.
Dog. So nice to see you. I love Devil Dog. In
But
case
you're
y'all
right
didn't
about your
know,
local communities because
uh,
that's who is right there with you, and that's who you need to know where they stand. Because, and
mm,
that's when all of this was going on, and they
mm,
were they were saying that uh, one of the three letters could just come and bust through your door, and I
mm-hmm,
that's when I called my sheriff, and I was like, "No, all right."
mm-hmm,
Well, actually, I saw him in person, and I said, "I have a question." And I said, "If this happens," and he says, "No, not in my county." And so I started asking him more questions. Are you
mm-hmm,
constitutional? And
mm-hmm,
because I wanted to know, where does he stand? Will he protect his community? And he will. And that's why
mm-hmm.
when D Dog kept saying, you know, that you're sheriffs, that's one of the first things I did
Yep,
because that's who you have to depend on.
yep.
He is the high power in your community. And so he's the first one you want to know. Where does he stand? Is he going to protect you?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And
Yeah, because when you get stabbed in the back by your sheriff, ain't nothing worse when you know you're living in a completely lawless town. Nothing worse. When you're like, damn, I'm in Sodom and Gomorrah, Rosemary's Baby, and Salem's Lot all in one. Shit, that's a bad combination. You know what I mean? It was a bad combination. Oh, I wish I could get out of here.
yeah,
I would leave in a minute. I sure would. I'd have left yesterday if my husband would be willing to go. He says there's nowhere to go. There's nowhere better. It really is like paradise here. If you like
yeah.
to be in the middle of creation,
Well,
it's quite beautiful. It is.
yeah. And that's there's places like that all over. I mean,
Yeah,
Von
there is.
Eric, my goodness, good to see you.
On Eric.
For a list of grants they get.
Well, that's
Yes,
why
D
we've
Dog,
got our.
I need to talk
Mhm,
more to the my sheriff and give him a couple of pamphlets, and I'm working on all of that too.
that's what we got our founding fathers all pumped up to do, to sit down and talk to the sheriffs.
Yep.
Um,
And
but they haven't yet, so I'm not
yep.
moving on it either. I'm not going after the sheriff myself. I'm not going to be the one to ask him for his list of grants, but I'd like somebody to do it. You know?
Yeah. Well,
I've
that I don't
already put
mind
an
doing
affidavit on him. What?
because I don't mind doing that with my sheriff because he is approachable. Um, he'll tell me. He's a good guy. He's known my family. We've been here almost 40 years, and um, this is a very tight knit community, and uh, we blast it out there on Facebook. If there's something going on, it's it's we have a neighborhood type thing, and that's where everybody puts anything that's going on wrong. Like we had just had that with the um, ESD was trying to dismantle our volunteer fire department, and it was taken to the county commissioners all the way up, and it has been settled, and it came out in the favor of the volunteer fire department. And so it's it's little things like that, you know. What are you going to do if you don't have a fire department? We're kind of out in the boonies, and so we need to know that they're going to be there. The fire department does a whole lot more than just put out fires.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, they do. I know they do. They show up first. They show up.
Yeah, and yeah, my sheriff is a homeboy, but also at the same time, we do have the good old boy system in place here. So it's kind of a, um, yeah, have to kind of watch these younger people who are doing it. More power to them. I'm glad they're doing it. They're stepping up. They don't have the fear. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and that's good. My
Yeah.
worry is what I'm protecting. I need to make sure that they're protected. And
Mm.
so, because I know it can go a whole other way if you cause friction, I guess would be the word. But yeah, everyone has a price.
Unless
Oh,
they
I'm
don't.
sorry, Ben.
Yeah, unless they don't,
Yeah.
you
Now
know,
the
and so
police
that,
department, that's a whole different deal. I don't that we have a big turnover in our police department. And so trying to get to know them personally is really hard to do.
Benjamin, my sheriff is a useless Marxist libtard Democrat.
I know. Bless his heart.
Well, I know that's why we're here. But, it's a little better when you're in the country than
Your
that city.
last name is Price.
Hmm. I don't know if you can hear the sounds in my house, but it is blowing and creaking, and I mean the wind is moving so fast that sometimes it will it'll it doesn't move the house, but it you hear all the wood shifting, it just and
Hmm.
it's so nerve-wracking because I think it's an earthquake sometimes, and it started at like 3 in the morning when I went to bed finally, and I just couldn't even fall asleep for about an hour, and I got up at 7:30, so I'm super tired. Or 8:30, I think I got up at 8:30. Power went out at 6. My generator's probably gonna die any minute. I only had about 4 hours of gas in it when I turned it on. But it's okay. It's all fine. I don't usually run a generator. If I'm home alone and it's sunny out, I'm not looking to run a generator so I can run a computer. But when
Yeah.
it's crappy outside, there's not much else to do all day. I like to read by the fire for sure, but I also like talking to people. Talking to people is really nice. It's
Yeah.
really lonely up here, talking to my animals and just yelling at them all day. Rock steady, honey. Good to see you,
Hi,
love.
Rocksteady. Yeah.
Friction. He goes through his area like a wreck. Yeah, we know you and your brass balls. We're well
Yes, we
aware.
know, dog.
Well
A
aware.
lot of our
We
men
know
have those
they do. They
brass
swing them
balls.
around. That's why I love when Salty says that. Big dick swinging. I'm like, oh, Salty. You're so damn funny, Salty. Oh, gosh. He is so funny. He hasn't said that in a while. He hasn't said
I
that one in a while.
I grew up here, but something something kind of I'm just I'm in a holding position. That's a good word for it.
Mm-hmm.
There's some things I need to take care of before I can get back in the oh
Mm.
no, this is not happening here. Sorry.
Black
But
Watch, do you want me to wipe the floor with you again today? Is that what you want today, Black Watch? You want me to abuse you today? He says he has run diagnostics, Zoom, StreamYards, Restream, and Skype. My equipment is fine, all across of them. So it's your end, lass. I don't think so. I'm her witness, and so is Devil Dog. He was there. It's your problem. Don't make me come all the way over to Canada just to slap you upside the head.
did you
Come
see the dog? To lose power, watch TV by candlelight. Hmm.
on. I don't watch TV anymore. That's what's the greatest thing about the YouTube community is we actually get to interact and not be talked at with a bunch of propaganda and subliminal messages and mind control bullshit. You know, I mean, of course, we'd rather talk to each other. Otherwise, we're subjecting ourselves to their nonsense.
Guardsman, that's great.
No, I'm not catching the next ferry to Hawaii. I'm protecting my friend Bonnie. You're harassing her. Knock it off. It's your damn equipment, dude. I heard it myself. And so other people testified it. And you don't want to keep this up when I'm around. I'm
No, I didn't know that he was even going with that.
getting
Okay.
all riled up, pissed off. And it's working.
Calm
It's
down.
working. Where's my coffee? I'm tired, you know. I'm tired.
Oh,
I don't have the patience to deal with this one.
you didn't you didn't
Get
get
it
any
for a
sleep?
living. Not
So they must
much.
be finished.
It's blowing
Is
like
that the
hell.
final?
Storm, this is the tail.
See, they're just saying speaker possible today. Possible?
Oh, of this thing. Oh,
Yeah, if you look at the screen,
that ain't Pelosi, by the way. That is not her. Look
Jeffries
at
is
that face.
in
I
the
can tell from
lead.
here. I can't even see her, and I know that ain't even her. Been looking at that ugly hag for 20 years.
Mm. I was just so excited whenever I saw there is absolutely nobody on the House floor at this time. Like nobody of power in any way, shape, or form. And I was all, this is the time.
Mm-hmm.
This is the time we need to jump in there. How do we do it?
Mm-hmm.
And
Right,
no,
right.
they were waiting until noon to do the vote. And
Uh-huh.
one of the one of the women that's going to be sworn in bought a pair of shoes, her swear in shoes. I was like,
Oh,
this is
gross.
important. This is what you would put in the middle of a news.
Ugh. Well,
Yeah.
did you watch Fetterman get? Did you watch Fetterman be sworn in by Kamala?
No.
I watched Terrence show it. Oh, we should watch Terrence show. You want a good laugh? Go to Terrence Will.
Oh no. And she drops. Go to who? I know it. None of them are going to be good. I don't. What am I doing with you? Are you there? No. Dadgummit. And that's the problem. Everything up there is wrong because we know how the uh God, I hate YouTube. I don't know what I can say because I'm already pushing it with what we've been talking about today. But I saw where Wisconsin was doing something about the fraud too. Oops, I'm not supposed to say that word either. Dang it. I can't learn YouTubeanese. Wisconsin Republican Assembly Speaker Robin Voss accused of suppressing election fraud evidence from 2020, a presidential election. Can you read news headlines without getting in trouble? I mean, it's there. D, you're muted. Okay, that's a good thing. She's there. She's just muted. It's just so frustrating. And I know y'all have all felt it with all of this proof. Everything, the truth is out there. We know what's going on. We have watched it all this time, and still nothing happens. It just, that's the frustrating part. No one is being held accountable. Well, I guess they picked their speaker and it's Jeffries. I don't see the numbers changing. All for his kingdom. It's good to see you. I thought I was looking for good news, like something good and uplifting, and um, somewhere. Oh, where did that happen? Let me look. Um, and it was really a good story. There it is. And the headline was "Absolute Miracle," uh, and they've changed it now. It did say "Absolute Miracle." These people had driven off a cliff. I can't remember how many hundred feet. It was a long way. Tesla had driven off a cliff. A family, father, mother, two children. and they all survived. And I was like, that is amazing right there. It is a miracle because they've had several people drive off of that and there was never a survivor. And then today it changes to the father was arrested because they're saying he intentionally drove the family off of this cliff. And I'm like, it was a good story and it was positive and it was a miracle. And then it turned into, but did father really do that on purpose? That's just crazy. Oh, okay. So it won't count unless it's 218 or more. Thank you, Bruce. I did not know that. Should we listen to what they're saying? See if it's anything worth hearing? Let me see. No, they're all just talking to each other. No announcement. No. Well, they're not giving any announcement, or they're all just talking to each other. Well, that's okay, Bruce. The longer it's drawn out, right now they cannot do anything. They cannot put one bill out there. They cannot vote on anything. They can't make any decisions. They're blocked right now. They are at a standstill of even doing anything that they are supposed to be doing. So that's kind of a good thing. To me, I would think it's a good thing. If they are in a deadlock and can't do anything, isn't it? Anybody? Oh my goodness, guardsman. That would be concerning. Hey, Al Bundy. Good to see you. Hey, Bruce.
Hey,
So am I thinking crazy, or is that a good thing?
no, that's not crazy, but there's one caveat. I've heard other channels, basically ABC and all of that, as this thing gets drawn out too long, they can turn it back over to Pelosi until something gets done in this arena, then take her down.
Oh
And
no.
is the possibility, but I don't think they can introduce legislation. They can just put her back in until this gets resolved for the news side. But that's my understanding of it anyway, from what little bit I've watched at times.
Well, and I thought if anything, it would uh, initiate the military to be in control until a decision was made. I don't know.
I don't know either. It's hard to say on what we're actually under for a government. There's stuff that flies around all over the place. Like January 19th, 2020, since
Yep.
Mr. T was leaving, that and an illegitimate election and all of that, that in the background military was in charge, but it seems like if they are, they're keeping a low profile unless something major malfunction comes on where they've got to come out of the woodwork.
Right.
So, but
I don't know.
but that's kind
I'm
of,
trying to learn all of this in this crash course because
yeah.
I really didn't pay attention in history in school. And
No,
so,
no,
especially
I thought,
government.
yeah, I thought also, like you were thinking a minute ago, that since Jeffrey's got more than McCarthy, I didn't know there was a minimum number for the votes. I just figured, like a majority wins, is what I was thinking myself yesterday until I watched it. They kept voting and said they needed 218 or more for that be over with and all of that. So, in a way, that's a good thing, which I don't know. I'm not saying all D people are bad, but who knows on influence they could have from other people if they get a decent one in there on how bad he's going to get bought off.
Yeah. Yes. Chip Roy would be great. And you have a good day, D Dog. And the military cannot take control of the government without the approval of Congress. Oh. Hey, Wildlife.
Well, if everything comes to fruition, like from the executive on down, that it wasn't a valid, you know, uh,
Yeah.
event that happened, that's the alternative. Military's in charge, whether they want to be there or not, but who's going to push that and have chaos in the streets and all of that stuff and everything? We're spread thin anyway, military wise, but just one of
Yes.
those, just one of those deals where that would be the ideal thing for the other people across the pond. There was to have a bunch of turmoil here on our homeland, and then they pull the trigger on what they want to do. So what do we do to back up our allies and all of that and still maintain law and order here in our country?
And that's concerning too because somewhere I had heard that it couldn't be our military, have to be someone else's, and we know where that would come from, the
Blue hats.
UN.
The Smurf gang will show up and everything, and that's what they want.
I
And
know. And no,
the
we don't.
the U.S. military personnel would hesitate to really crack down on its own people because they got brothers, sisters, mother, dads, aunt, uncles, etc. Here they'd be going up against, but you get the Smurf group in here. They're all foreign people, and most of them don't like us. They'd have no problem taking us down. They're just
Yes,
everyday business for them.
exactly. Yeah,
I'll
we
be
don't
right
want.
back. I got to go get my smokes and my pop out of the other room.
Okay. Hey, Jeff, how are you? Yeah. So that's what I was talking about. Well, I have pictures. I have pictures from September of 21 of some people training, and they were not American, and they were in the United States.
Tell you something else that's scary too, Bonnie.
What's that?
I watch a lot of Dave Hodges, that guy that does the short news clips and stuff. I don't know if you've seen him or not, but here a
No.
while back when Obama was in office, he gave authority to Russia and China when we were having drills on our electrical grid. They trained along beside our people, and they know how to take down our grid and everything. But he authorized them to train with our people to know how to do it.
Is that when the buses came in? Because I had seen, I remember, I don't know if it was on the news but I just remember buses of a foreign entity, and they were being escorted by the DPS because I remember them going through Texas. I don't know where they were headed, but
Was that Jade Helm? Is that what you're thinking of?
I don't
Jade
know.
Helm, Jade Helm 15. See, they had 2 or 3 of those, and one of them, Helm 15, was a several month long training for things, and they were to, wear civilian clothes and infiltrate, the Western United States communities for intel and all of that on how much people would talk and all of this. And I made the remark a long time ago that this is when they were talking about foreign entities being sent here uh, to be invisible until the ghost signal has come. And what better place to put military equipment would be in the Western United States in the desert area where it's very limited contact,
Mm-hmm.
and the mountains and all of that with all the foliage and stuff to cover up, where their vehicles is at. And also Hodges, watching him, I've watched him for like 3 years or more. And up around Cheyenne and Fort Collins and all of that in Colorado and Wyoming out in the deal, they had United Nations vehicles with antennas and stuff, and they were hardened for an EMP and all of that. That's some of the intel that's been out, but you don't hear anything about that and
Wow.
things. But that's
Oh.
what we've got. We've got people here that are
Oh, I
just
know.
fitting in, everyday life and all of that till they have a broadcast or a signal of some sort, a go word that it's
Yeah.
going to seem like an everyday conversation. And when it takes place, it's going to be mass mobilization. And we're going to be blindsided and everything. I don't care how many guns we got. We're going to be blindsided because all them people are already in position
Yeah. It won't be enough.
to take us down. It's going to be limited confrontation when it happens. Everybody's going to be in position. They're all going to pull the flash mob routine, and we're going to be in trouble.
Yep. And that I was talking about happened under when Bummer was in there. And the
Yeah, that's when Jade Helm 15 was going and
okay.
everything.
And but I've seen what's coming across the border, and it's so we've got that going on too, that it's not all just looking for jobs.
No,
There's
no,
been a lot of people come in that
they have all sorts of countries and stuff coming across, and all of them ain't friendly, is what
Yes.
it is. And they're just getting more people in position and stuff like that. When they do pull the trigger, we're going to be blindsided. Like I say, I hate to tell everybody that, but that's the God honest truth. If anybody's got a brain in their head, wake up and take a look on what's going on.
And that's why I don't understand how even the National Guard that's down there right now are saying that their hands are tied about certain things. And I'm like, I thought each state's National Guard didn't have to listen to anybody federal, that that they only had to listen to the state.
Okay. Let me see if I can maybe explain this. I might be all wet about this. This is just from what I know.
I know I'm saying it in a
Yeah.
stupid way too.
See, the United States borders have got what they call an easement. It's like the sidewalk in front of your house and all of that that the city owns,
the,
but we got to take
the
care of it.
10-foot. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. On the border, there is a buffer zone, or whatever you want to call it, 100 miles inland from the border, that is not per se a border where they can do anything to you they want. Like if you refuse to admit that you're a citizen or whatever, they can make your life hell within that 100-mile distance from the border. That's where Border Patrol and all
Oh
that's
my
set up
goodness.
and everything. All the borders around. So look at it this way. Most of the state of Florida is a buffer zone from the Gulf of Mexico across to the Atlantic Ocean.
Yeah.
100 miles from each side is a federal buffer zone or easement, whatever you want to call it, that they can do whatever they want to do. If the feds say don't do nothing, you don't do nothing. If the feds say crack the whip or let them go, that's the easement part of it and everything. For the National Guard to be able to do something, in my opinion, would be like
So
in
I'm
100 miles and 50 feet or whatever past that buffer zone. And then they've got jurisdiction on from the state of Texas or New Mexico, Arizona, or whatever to do something. But within that buffer zone from 100 miles inland, there's a buffer on all sides of our country.
And so I'm 200 miles from the border,
Okay.
but actually 100.
Yeah. From
Okay,
border, from
that's a little
border
worrisome.
from border enforcement, you're past 100 miles where your National Guard can enforce stuff with the governor's authority in your town. But the closer you get to the border, if you go across a 100-mile deal, you're under federal jurisdiction. And a lot of people don't know that, but that's what it is, because I run truck down through there, and I've been stopped, just at a checkpoint, from the border in Texas, New Mexico, whatever, and things, and had to reaffirm, on what I was doing and all of that, and they let me go. But it's 100 miles inland from the border.
Wow. Hey, Andy, Jack. Good to see you.
So
Yeah.
it's kind of complicated and all of that, and it gets people in a catch-22 when you try to, profess your rights and stuff. But I'm not sure how far a guy could push it and things like that either. So,
Well,
I,
and that's John Dunning saying the states lost their sovereignty when they joined the more perfect union. And I have been hearing a lot about secession. And I don't know. um, I need to start trying to talk to Abbott and Paxton and all them up there again.
yeah,
The only one that I was able to actually talk to on the phone was Paxton's office. And um, I was in an emotional moment because something horrible had happened due to the border. And um, she was like, I understand your concern, but the border is a federal issue. Our hands are tied. And I'm just like,
yeah.
there's no way that
That's what
there
I'm
is.
talking about. Is that easement is the deal, but they won't tell you why.
Yeah. And that's she wouldn't go into detail, but that's just wrong.
Yeah,
And well, and that's where our sheriffs too, because if it if it came to where we live, and that's he said too. He said I can deputize whoever I need to for whatever
yeah,
situation.
yeah. That's what my sheriff told me up here. The one that's he retired and all of that, because I seen him one night. I says, "What are you going to do if Antifa and BLM come to town to try to do something?" He says, "I'll deputize everybody that's got the right to carry a gun. I'll deputize all of you." Is what he told me.
Anyone,
So,
yep, anyone of
so
sound mind that he feels
yep.
is necessary, and yeah,
See, what a lot of people don't know either, because I forget, I've watched a bunch of stuff on YouTube. I can't pull individual deals out on certain things that I've watched, but see, Texas, as an example, where you're at, it was a state before it became a country inside a country of the United States. And I don't know when they put the easements in, for the 100-mile inland jurisdiction. But Texas was a state before they did that, and all that land in the beginning belonged to Texas. So, if possible, Texas can reclaim that land until the feds to go get lost, like in Arizona and New Mexico and all of those and all of that. It's got a lot of federal
yeah,
land that was state land before it was made federal land, like for state parks and stuff and everything. So
yeah,
technically, my understanding, it still belongs to Texas, not the
yeah,
federal government.
yep. I mean, we
But
do have,
trying to sort out that can of worms and spaghetti is something else on trying to find the right avenue to go in to do something about it. That's just it. It's going to
yeah,
be major malfunction all the way around, which it already is.
and well, I know, and I've thought about that from all angles. Is if we did succeed, how that would work, but I can see where it could because we have the natural resources. We
Yeah.
have we have tons of military here. I don't know how that would work if they would bail out or I don't know. I don't know how that would work because we have a bunch of bases and
Depends. My guess would be it depends on which ones are federalized, that are active duty right now versus the National Guard, which is state. I
that's
don't
true.
I don't know if the feds would where they would per se defect out and cover the state where they're at or what they do or whether they would go back to their home state and full
Yeah,
duty there and everything. It's just I can see it being a big mess to start with, but once it gets
it
sorted
would.
out, I think it's pretty well feasible and all of that. Get all the public and stuff behind you and
Yeah,
everything. Where this is art stuff, and you're not going to mess with it.
yeah. And because we have all the resources,
Yeah,
there's natural resources of every kind here.
but it's just a nightmare, is what it is, and people don't realize what our nightmare is on what we're doing.
I just can't believe we've gotten to this point. I can't believe that we didn't see it. Oh, I didn't. I mean, I know a lot of people did. I know I've heard several people saying that they've been into this for 20 years. And I'm like, well,
It's
I
just
was
never came to the
clueless.
surface.
I didn't even know. Yeah, I never I mean, there was some things that I'd seen that I questioned, like I was talking about when
Yeah,
Obama was president, the buses, that was like pretty concerning to me then, is why I remember it. And
yeah, they
there's
just
been
pushed
just
it as a training exercise is what they did. Sorry to cut you off, but training exercises, and that's okay. That sounds reasonable. Okay,
that's okay.
and that's it.
Yeah. And I didn't know anything about the Patriot Act. 9/11, I was just as heartbroken as everyone else. Didn't
Yeah,
even didn't even cross my mind that it could have been a whole what it was. And
no,
um, yeah, and the Bushes from Texas, and
yeah.
we're
Texas is supposed to be some upstanding people, uh,
that's what I've always
supposedly.
thought here.
Yeah, old country bumpkins and
And
all of that. We do
that was
what's
a
right.
big shock. Yes, that's the
Yep.
things that I have learned has just been shocking to me. It's been like, what? Are you kidding me? And how did I miss all this? And well, I was busy just like everybody else, working my butt off, raising kids, and
Right.
trying to just make sure that they had food on the table. And
And
it was,
that's why they did the way they did it, because everybody's preoccupied
yeah,
and all of that.
yeah,
If something like that happened now and everything, if there's a question mark of any sort as for a false flag or anything like that, there'd be a lot more people open their eyes and want to know why. And why we didn't know anything about it and all of that. They knew all well what was going down.
Yeah.
And you know what country was the biggest instigator behind it?
Cha. The one in the east.
Us and Israel. Whether you know it or not,
What?
Israel is running our country.
Really?
Yep, they're the puppet masters, one of them.
Huh.
Yep. Anything to do with when they say they're Zionists, Zionists are bad. They stole that term from the ancient Jews. If you get an Israeli that claims Jewish instead of a Zionist, the Jews are the good ones. The Zionists are just like the deep state over here.
And it's always said, protect Israel.
Yep. And that's what Netanyahu is. See, he's back prime minister now again, and he's a Zionist, is what he is. All he cares about is his reputation, what's good for him, and all of that, and everything. The hell with the people. They're just in the same mindset. And the original land that was for the Jews, because they, got it taken from them or whatever, is the original Jews were the Palestinians, and look what the beef is over there about between the Jews and so-called Jews and Palestinians.
Yeah.
Palestinians, the original people of Judea and Israel.
Oh my
And
goodness.
this is going to make some people mad on what I'm going to say. You know who the squad is up in Washington, don't you?
The squad?
Yeah.
I think so. But
Cortez, Ileana, Omar, and
yes,
those
yes,
people.
yes.
And you wonder why Omar and Talib have such a bad taste in their mouths about Israel and the United States on what we're helping Israel do to the Palestinians, because the Palestinians were the original people that settled the land and it was taken from them. A lot of people don't like to hear that, but it's true. And you wonder why they got an attitude.
Yeah. And that's John Dunning's 89% of our senators in Congress hold dual citizenship with Israel.
Bingo. Yeah, we're being puppeteered by Israel all the way around, whether people wanted to admit it or not, because in 1967, over in the Vietnam era, I brought this up on Chuck's one night, and I blew up the internet, that the USS Liberty was over there on a friendly mission, and our government, along with the Israeli government, attacked that ship and was going to sink it because they knew too much and all of that. They wanted them silent. But Israel went radio blackout, wouldn't talk or anything, but they attacked our ship. Look up the USS Liberty and you'll know what I'm talking about. I can't explain it fully here, but watch it.
USS Liberty.
Yes, 1967.
Okay. There was another one in, was it 64?
Could have been
Um,
one that John McCain was on. that had the fire and stuff. I can't remember if that was the Liberty or another ship over there, but Israel had something to do with that or both.
Wow.
That's how much of a ruse were being played, and everybody's preaching, back Israel, back Israel. Yeah, stab yourself in the back, buddy. What I know on some stuff, I'm totally off the wall, and they think I'm living up to my last name, but it's God honest, factual truth, Bonnie.
Yeah. Uh,
It's
I believe you. I'm seeing all the comments backing it up.
it's it's sick on what we've been conned into or been ushered into for our resources and money and all of that and everything. And think about this: we got military bases in all sorts of different countries of the world, an embassy.
Yes.
There's a few embassies here of foreign governments, but there is not one military base on U.S. soil from a foreign government. Think about it.
Yeah.
So we're being played like a fiddle, is what we are. And there is nothing in this world that's big enough for anything to stop it except God.
Yeah.
And it's going to have to get real bad. And for him to do something, we got to help ourselves start with to try to put a stop to some of this. Then he'll help you. But if we stand back and twiddle our thumbs, he says, have fun. I'm watching. And that's what it boils down to. We're helping to our own demise, is what we're doing by not doing anything. And there's just not enough people awake in this world to stop it yet. You know, there's a lot more people woke up in the last 2 or 3 years, but there still ain't enough people woke to put up a resistance to stop this crap.
Yeah. And well, and even then, how? I mean, even if every single person was okay, this has got to stop.
Right.
It's still how, because they have built an immunity around them to where we have no power. Zero. They've taken it all away.
We've given it to them.
And I know
We've,
that D Dog would probably be really ranting at me right now. Hey, integrity minded. But it's to do it even with the Constitution would take time. And from what I'm seeing, the snowballing, we don't have that time.
no, we've just got to have the Constitution in our vest pocket and go offensive. Sure, it might turn kinetic, but I don't think they've really given us any choice but not to do the kinetic thing like they did in the 1700s to get where we're at and things. But that's what's going to have to happen and everything in my eyes and all of that. And we don't want any bloodshed or anything, but as long as they've got the power that we have given them, and maybe D-Dog could tell us how to take our power back, but we got to get the
And
masses to
yes,
all agree on how to do it instead of pockets here, pockets there, where they can put down these rebellious pockets, but with the masses thinking the same way and doing the same thing to take our power back, that's the only way we're going to get it done. A few could get it started and hope people would follow you, but it's an uphill battle anywhere you want to look at it, Bonnie.
yes. And that's what he keeps saying. It's up to the states. And I think it takes 10% of each state. So, like Texas, it would be like 50,000 people. Well, that's just one town here. That's
Yeah,
not a lot of people. And um, just from what I've seen on YouTube the past few years that I've been on here, I can see that many easily.
yeah.
But if it takes each state, that's where we have a problem because blue states, I don't know that they would have enough people in those states to to have their 10%.
New York and California probably would not with the metroplexes in there. But like
Yeah.
anything west of the Mississippi, excluding Illinois, the rural people are more thinking like we do. And if we could get all the rural people and scrap the metroplexes, it might work out. I don't know. It would be a rough go, but if they see some progress where they're going to have more of their civil rights and all of this stuff, they might just start defecting from the metroplexes and helping out. I don't know, Bonnie, but that's what I see we're up against. New York City, San Diego, Los Angeles, Sacramento, San Francisco, all of that. There's too many people in one spot. Where the rural areas of California, you can take all the rural area of California and you probably won't equal one metroplex in California
Yeah.
and things. So
I know my
it,
brother's in California, and he said in his city, he feels like he's the only one that,
thinks like we do.
yes, to a point. I'm still a conspiracy theorist, but he does, um, he goes to the rallies. He's really big on, yes, they're destroying our country. He, some of it, but all the other stuff, if I say something about it, he's like, I can't believe you're a conspiracy theorist. And I'm like, I am not. I'm just telling you this is what's going on. And he just won't believe it.
Tell
He's
him
like, no.
I'm not a theorist. I'm a factoid, conspiracy fact. That's
uh,
what I've been
and
called by the people that's watching my daughter and stuff and everything. That I think too much out of the box is what I do, Bonnie. But everything that I've come up with out of the box has been factual and
yeah,
things. But they think I'm living up to my nickname, last name, Rogue Looney, that I've gone rogue and everything. But it's factual. I won't say anything that's not factual or not know and everything.
yeah,
And all that. That's why I'm so quiet all the time. I'll come to channels and just lurk and listen and stuff. If I got something worth putting into the pot, that's when I try to pop in and everything. Other than that, I keep my mouth shut because I can learn more and see what other people are doing by just listening and taking it all in and kind of having a battle plan or whatever you want to do when I come up and say what I say to try to keep it right. I might get some stuff wrong. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying I'm perfect or anything, but I get a lot more right than I do wrong sometimes.
Um, Hello, Concerned Patriot and Tony and Katie, and thank y'all for the information that you're putting in the chat. John, I will be watching those links. Thank you. They're putting some good information in there.
Good.
Yep.
Maybe we break the internet. Maybe something will happen, Bonnie.
Or I'll be a different name.
Just think you come up live with all this stuff we're talking about now. You could, set a record on likes and, subscribers.
Oh, I'm not worried about that.
I know, but just think about it, though, on what we're doing here.
Yeah. Well, but there's times when I sit here and I think, no, it needs to be done.
Yeah.
Forget the channel. If I've already got one kind of started and um, I haven't completed it to drop a link for it or anything, but because I know we've gotten into some discussions just on the regular nightly
Yeah.
that I'm really surprised I don't have any strikes or any of that against me yet. But
Right.
most everybody is um
Backing you up.
well, and they're trying to make sure that it doesn't get taken down,
Yeah.
but it's to the point where and that's what I keep saying. It's time to get louder. It's time to get louder.
Yeah.
And the more of us that are speaking up and saying, what was that radio station and the people yelling out their windows and on the rooftops?
Yeah. I'm
Mad
mad.
as hell and
Not
not
going
going to
to take.
take it anymore. It's time. It's time to
Yeah.
get to the point and say exactly that. We're
Yeah.
through with all the sorcery and foolery and control,
Control.
the
The control
absolute
factor
control. Yes.
is the biggest deal.
Yep.
Yeah. People can't think for themselves anymore and all of that. And I fell into that trap for a while myself. Just go along to get along. That way you don't got nothing to be concerned with. But then it snowballs and it starts affecting your livelihood or whatever. And
And yeah, and that's where we have to have a relationship with God. We have to
mm-hmm,
know that there's a higher power to to have that faith and to have that to turn to get peace back in your life too. You have to be grounded. You have to be um, spiritually settled, I guess is the word you would say. Spiritually grounded so that you can handle all this information and everything that you know that is happening. And so I can see where it is definitely a spiritual warfare also. I see
yeah,
so many people turning to God that didn't before and realizing, you know, even in the programs and everything, they say higher power. Pappy says the creator. It's all the same thing. We have to have that spiritual stability to get through this and know
Well, yeah.
that that battle's going on also.
What I did when my wife was in real bad shape before she passed away, I'd been a Christian for oh, let's see, 7 years before she had her accident. It was 2006 when I got saved, and everything that I did and looked through on what was thrown at me, if people could just keep this in mind instead of having the pity party, why me? I don't deserve this, etc., etc. And with deal with my daughter, I've got to think more on what I'm going to say on what's going on. That everything that we're going through is a test and see how we're going to handle it and overcome it. And I've made the joke with everything that went on with my wife and stuff that I must be passing the test and doing what's right because I keep getting them. So that's the way I kind of look at that and everything. Everything we're having done is a test, test our faith and our dedication and all of that on what's right and all of that
Yes.
instead of caving in and going along to get along and everything and not sure about the repercussions, standing our ground and all of that. It's just a test to see
Well, and
how we're going to handle this and all of that. And because a lot of people just have the pity party, is what they have, and all of that, and just cower around in the corner. I'm not saying anybody's a coward, but everybody's got their limit. I agree with that. I see that. I get it.
yeah,
It's just everybody is at a different stage to try to do something about this and everything. But like you say, if we get loud about it and everything, maybe more people will join us getting loud and stuff. All input's welcome because we don't know it all or anything like that to do what needs to be done. Everybody's got a different perspective on what needs to be done, and all ideas are welcome, and we can put all of our heads together and maybe come up with something that'll get their attention and work.
yeah,
So,
yeah. That's what I was trying to explain to someone not very long ago. They were, you know, why did this happen? Why would God let this happen? And I was like, whoa, wait a minute. It's not that that's not how I look at it. It's God gave us free will and life choices, whatever. You know, how do you explain a 2-year-old child getting cancer? That's not God. I can't
no.
believe that that's God. It,
But there's a verse in the Bible, Romans 8:28. Everything works together for good for God's people that love Him. There's
yes,
a reason for all things going on with people, whether they're saved or not saved. It's His plan, His timing, in His own time. And we're just immaterial on our timeline on what needs to happen. And we just got to keep our faith with Him and keep in mind everything works together for good and things. That's a hard one to swallow at times, like you're saying, a 2-year-old with cancer and stuff like that. And the biggest question is why. That is the hardest question to answer, is the why on anything.
Yeah. And that's what I was going to say a while ago. They make it sound like we're supposed to be all forgiving and um, um, okay, like the illegals coming over. We're supposed to be open arms and help these people because they're trying to get away from a really bad way of life and to a point. I understand compassion. I have compassion. And I understand um, doing for others. But when it comes to the destruction of society as we have it, then no, that's where we need to draw the line. And
They're
we've
being
come,
exploited and we're being exploited so they can get all the money and stuff and everything. And people think slavery is no longer an issue, and that's so far from the truth and everything. We're all slaves that cave in and let people do to us what they do.
yeah,
I'm just as guilty as the next party on being a slave on certain things and everything, because it's something that I per se desire and all of that, and they know how to exploit that desire on how to get it for them, and they could care less about us. They just use us as pawns to get what they want.
yeah. Well, the nonprofits are really down there helping and making lots of money.
Yeah,
It's like, who's funding this?
that football player that got nailed in that ball game the other night. Did you see what happened to his fund?
Oh my goodness. Yes.
Did you see what happened to his fundraiser that he was
Yeah.
doing off a GoFundMe for getting
Yep.
toys for the kids?
His goal was 2,500 and it's like over 4 million now.
Yep.
Yeah. And so then you wonder, is it
What's the
was
ulterior
it
motive
him
here?
personally or was it the team? Was it a joint effort or was he
Um,
just doing it? Cuz
and I
I
seen a
know I'm sorry.
I seen a meme on Facebook the other night that what did all the players do from both teams do after he got hurt and was hauled off? What they do on the sideline?
I didn't see that part.
They all took a knee and prayed for him.
Yes.
Talk
Oh,
about
they were.
hypocrite of society and politics, and they do that for one of their own that almost died or still could not make it. They all went to their knees and prayed, and then they exploit the people that don't like it for people taking a knee for the national anthem. That's just hypocritical there. I don't care who you are, whether you're a Christian or what. It's one or the other in my
Well,
eyes.
I don't know if I agree with that because that's a big controversy. Look at that coach that was fired because they
Yeah,
prayed before a football game, but he got off. He won that case, and so I mean those you could see the fear and in those kids' eyes, and I say kids because they're young.
right.
playing football out there. But they, and so they're probably wondering, because we all know what happened,
Right.
really. We I've seen them working up to how they're portraying it now, but um, I just saw a doctor's report yesterday that a rare disease, and it's usually in children, and
Yeah.
you can see where that's going. But so those other players are probably thinking, because more and more of these are going to be on national TV,
Yeah.
because that's where they're at when they're doing these games. And we've heard all these athletes, all these movie stars, actresses, whatever. It's just it's so in our face, it cannot be denied. But
Right.
they're still trying to hide it, push their poison, whatever. It's
Yeah. The thing that I liked
horrible.
about what they did, I'm not saying praying is wrong. That ain't what I meant at all, Bonnie.
Oh,
But
okay.
that ain't what I meant at all. Like the guy with the big afro takes a knee, and it's all over the news and everything else, about people saying that ain't right and all this stuff. And then the
Yes.
athletes themselves, after a tragedy like this, do it. And the thing that you got to admire about these young people, at that point, they were not or did not care what repercussions they were going to get from doing that for their teammate. They did it anyway. They didn't care what was going to be said or anything. They did it. And that's
Yes.
what I like about it. It's the same way with Colin Kaepernick. He don't care what they say. He's going to do what he does. So it's both sides. They don't care what they say, but I don't think the news media or ESPN or anything made a big deal about them praying for their fellow man. I don't think at all, which is good.
Yes.
If nothing else, endorse it and keep it going and everything. But it's just one of those deals where it's just somebody bitches about this, and then when the opposite happens, nobody says a word.
Right.
That's where I say the hypocrisy comes in.
Okay.
You
They're
know,
not saying, look at this team come together as one to
right,
pray for their
right.
fellow teammate. Okay.
Yeah, they should have endorsed that, and then put the
Yes.
guys that take the knee, against America, and let them have it. Because there's more people prayed that day out there on the field than probably people took the knee at the national anthem, would be my guess.
Yes.
And
And
why they can't make a news story out of that? To me, it's the announcers that didn't carry it through that knew better.
yeah. And that's good that you saw the good
Yeah.
that came out of that.
Oh yeah, but that's
Mhm.
what they did, and you hardly heard anything about it. But it was on recorded and everything on video on YouTube and Facebook about them doing that, and I don't think anybody really said anything. I didn't see any derogatory anything about it. They probably
Right.
knew they better not,
Yep.
because you attack them, you're attacking the guy that got hammered
Yeah.
and things, and they didn't want to go that route, I don't think.
Annie Jack, I can't get the link. I I can maybe show it later, but on StreamYard, I can't get the link to share it.
Have them put it in private, then click it in private, Bonnie.
But he can't do that unless he comes up.
Right. Unless he's a mod. Yeah, that's right. My bad. You could probably, if you're able to, open your YouTube on the computer and click it on the computer, then share screen also. I don't know.
Yeah.
I haven't done it very much like that, only once or twice a while back on your channel. That's how I did it. I had a different browser than what I was using for the restream and all that, and then did the share screen or whatever you do and present here and everything, and then fire it up, then pick the browser window that I want to show. But
Katie and Katie, y'all take care. Hey, Dan. Chad. I don't think I said hello to you, Chad. NC Deb.
yeah, I want to say hi to everybody too. I get to go in here and don't pay attention and everything. And yeah, Bonnie, if you or NC Debs wants to give me a call anytime, please do. I'll be more than willing to chit chat with you because I'm here by myself and I got 2 cats and I don't speak kitty very well and everything. And it's nice to have somebody to talk to sometimes.
Oh. Took care of that. Kino. Did I say hi to Kino?
You know, they're about halfway done with this vote again. They got 12 votes for other, 109 for McCarthy, and 107 for Jeffries. It's still going to be a stalemate where they're going to have to go again unless they adjourn. And
Did they start over again?
yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, they're not going to get anywhere until somebody hits 218, Bonnie.
So they'll just keep on over and over. Oh
Over and over and over until somebody gets 218, and then it's official speaker. Whoever does that, it could take, you know, like they said back in the 1800s, it took weeks to get it.
Goodness.
That was everyday voting back then and everything too. So unless somebody hits 218,
Yeah.
it ain't over. You know, like Jeffries can have more than McCarthy, or McCarthy has more than Jeffries. If it's under 218, it's like everybody got nothing. They got to keep going.
Oh, wow. There was a time they voted 69 times.
Yep. But that's what's going on there. They're just going to have to keep going and going and going until 218 is the magic number.
Yeah. Mm.
And McCarthy was only able to lose 5 votes to win. That was his cushion, was 5 votes.
Yep.
But since there's 12 for the others, they've defected. It's going to be about like it was. Go, go, go. 212 for Jeffries and whatever it is for McCarthy. Now there's 13 others. So there's more people defecting than voting for McCarthy right now. There's more of them pulling out.
Mm.
So
I'd heard he already moved his stuff into the office.
yeah.
So confident he had it.
Yeah.
crazy.
No, that's what they're doing right now. So it's going to keep going until 218 gets hit or they adjourn again and come back tomorrow and everything. So right now it's 4 o'clock in Washington, D.C. right now. Supposedly that's where they're at. Who knows? But it's just crazy.
Yeah. And well, this would be a good time for all that. Um, the truth about 20 and 22 to come out
Yeah.
and pull them all out.
Yeah.
Because,
I think that's what that Brunson thing is for all the corrupt there of all the members of the Congress is what it is. And I was going to say something else too. Oh, on the Supreme Court, like I brought up the other night, as much undercover as they do for cases behind closed doors, it would not surprise me if 2020 hasn't already been decided, but things hasn't been made public yet, and they're afraid to make it public on what all the chaos in the streets are going to be. And it goes back to National Guard, military, and all of that. They've got enough to take care of on foreign soil versus U.S. soil and all of this on trying to keep order and going. And then it'll fall back on only then Biden or somebody in power, one of the Joint Chiefs like Milley, would request backup from the Smurf gang. And that's when we'd really have trouble. But I think deep down, that's what they want.
I know it's what they want. I've seen too much proof of that.
Yeah.
And
But they're just
that's
trying to
what
get
we can't allow it to happen.
That's why they're trying to cause so much chaos and stuff where you have one wacko out there, it gets to them and they start up something and everything, then it'll just mushroom from there on out. And then we got a bigger mess on our hands than what we do right now by just putting up with this bullshit. Excuse me, but that's the way I see it.
That's okay.
But they're trying to push us over the hump to get somebody to do something stupid and everything, because they're all going to be insulated up there. You know, the Joint Chiefs and all the
Oh, yeah.
hierarchy and all that's going to be insulated, you know, into a bunker or someplace with all the deep underground military bases and tunnels they got. They got it out. Don't think they don't. And everything. And then when things calm down, they come in and lay the law down on what's the way it's going to be. If you don't like it, oh well, you're a political prisoner from that point, because all the Constitution and everything else will be null and void, and they'd already have their own framework of government by the time they come out of hiding.
Well, and that could be why he's poking other countries. I saw yesterday that I don't know how to say it. The North K country
Yeah.
has one of their weapons pointed right at us right now.
Of course. See,
And
Putin does not want a mushroom cloud anywhere, because that'll destroy his domain, our domain, and everything. And he's fighting for his country, and And he is not the instigator over there. It's
No.
us and NATO causing the problem. And Zelensky's capitalizing on it, making out like he's Muhammad Ali or something, throwing punches at Putin and winning. That is so far from the truth. Zelensky is a nobody. He's a
Yeah.
puppet. And like I said the other night, that all his financial people have called in his loans or his tokens, and he's trying to find money anywhere and everywhere to stay in power, is what he's doing. And if he can't do it, they're going to find somebody else that'll play his game.
Yeah.
So they can throw all they want to at Putin. By no means I'm a Putin fan by any chance. You know, he's got his faults too. But when he tries to go in there and clean up the mess, and they make out like he's shooting all these missiles and killing people and all of that, NATO is the one that's doing all of that in Ukraine and firing on Russia. NATO is.
Yep.
And, you know, Putin's going to take so much, don't get me wrong, you know, till he shows some force. You know, you better cut this crap out, or there's going to be more where this came from, only worse.
Ain't never good news. Kiss off.
And that's what Putin will probably do. He's going to sit back and let Biden and NATO hang themselves, and then he's going to throw one sucker punch and tell them to cool it, or there's going to be more from where this came from. And he's got the capability to do it. See, Putin's not using everything he's got in Ukraine. He's using the C team, basically, you know, for them to get experience. You know, he's keeping these prime people out of there so they don't get taken out and all of that. His C team army is getting trained, is what's going on. And that's what he's doing over there.
And joyful.
So.
Yeah. That's all.
Yeah.
But the way Camel went over to South K country.
Yeah.
Just to piss off North. The whole thing, and they're at war all the time. Those two, that is always. And the same with everything around Israel. All of that has been going on forever. And
for centuries.
Yes. And that's what I was going to say too about some of them that are coming in here. They are raised from children training.
Yep.
And they don't care. They don't like us. We are nothing. And that's what's concerning about what's coming in.
And the way their mindset is, and what they're taught.
They are nothing like us. Most of the other countries are nothing like us. I mean, all of those that are constantly battling, that's their way of life. That's the way they live. They have completely different views on how to handle everything. How they treat women, how they treat criminals, and in their mind, criminals could be different than what we think are criminals.
Yeah.
It's just a total different way of living and thinking.
Yeah, the way we're taught is we're taught to be in denial. It's always somebody else's problem that caused our problems, which is farthest from the truth. What they teach in other countries about us I hate to say it, they're right. We are causing the problem.
Yeah.
Their lifestyle over there and everything. If we get out of their business and leave them alone and maybe take a lead from the way they do things, we'd have a lot better country. But no, we're all taught to be in denial over here and things,
Well,
and we take everything by force. If somebody does something we don't like, we take them out or whatever.
in the court system is completely backwards. Criminals are running free. Good people are being imprisoned. And
And then when the good guys try to do what's right, we're the bad guys.
yeah, by design.
Yep. But like a lot of people say, that are down with America, calling it oppressive and all of this, we're the least oppressive nation or country in the world.
Yep.
But you tell people to go somewhere else and see how you like it there. They're all down on us. But if they go to another country that don't have the same liberties that we do, they're going to be begging to get back, is what
Yeah.
it'll be. But they just can't understand that unless they go experience it for themselves and everything. That we're the worst country in the world to be in. But if we're so bad to be in, why does people over the centuries that want to come here, you know, and everything to start with? But a lot of them don't
Yeah.
look at it that way. They want to come over here like what's going on, these sleeper cells. They want to take us without firing a shot and have all our resources intact since we've had so many liberties. They use the liberties against us because they can come in here and set up shop underneath our noses and we don't know anything about it.
Yeah.
Until it's too late. And then we kick ourselves like I've done it. Yeah, you told us about it. We didn't see anything like that happening on 9/11, on what the real deal was behind it till several years later.
Yeah.
They're setting us up is what they're doing. Everything that's going on is a distraction from our homeland, and we're getting invaded right in front of our noses. And when the ghost signal comes, whoever gives it, the deep state or Israel or whoever, we ain't going to have a leg to stand on, and we're going to wonder how, we're still wondering how did we get here? And people are going to wonder that when all hell does break loose. How did we get here? We didn't see that coming. You did, but you didn't notice it.
Yeah.
And what few people are awake, we're just a bunch of conspiracy theorists and all of that we don't know what the hell we're talking about. But I hate to say it, you're going to see what we've been talking about for umpteen years when it does happen, and you're going to have to eat crow that we were right. But by that time, it's going to be too late. We're going to be trying to save everybody's butt.
Yeah. Oh, what a mess.
Yeah, they got 20 votes now for other and things.
Yeah, I was getting a history lesson the other night uh, about World War One, two, all of them.
Yeah.
And I was like, whoa, I really wish I would have paid more attention. But uh, I had a really bad history teacher too. I do not remember government as
They don't.
being part of it.
Yeah, they don't teach the truth
Yeah,
because it would be a reflection on them, and they're the one that set up the education system,
well, that's true too.
and that's what they want us to. They want to give us enough to be bitter, is what they want to do. That's the control factor.
Yep,
And if we
that's why I
become
keep saying
bitter
we
at
can.
our own government for what they've done to us, they ain't got a leg to stand on, and they'd be out of power in 3 days if we knew the whole deal behind of what they've done over the centuries.
Well, I think most of the people here know that
Yeah.
and feel that, and that's why I said it gets frustrating because it's like, okay, how do we do it? It still keeps coming down to how do we do it?
Yep.
And
Wake
it's
up, people.
if we have time, I still feel the answer is starting in the home,
Yep.
you know, teaching your kids, talking to your kids.
Because they designed it for the schools to be the babysitters,
Yes.
everything, having a two-spouse working family. Because you look back in the 40s, 50s, it started in the 60s where they prices went up where two people had to work, and
Yep.
doctor, uh, that psychiatrist made a big deal, and he got it through the psyche of every American where it was
Oh, what
so
was the
much torture to spank your kid.
yes? Was it? I keep thinking Spock, but it wasn't.
Yep, that's it.
That's it. Okay.
Yep, because he made the big deal about how it was. To this day, they still use the same analogy. It's psychological damage to your child. My
Yeah.
mom and dad was old school. I did not raise a hand to my parents. I told dad to leave me alone one time, and I was coming at him. He says, "Hold it right there, buddy." He says, "You whip the old man.
Yeah.
You better have the means to get a job and feed him too." That shut me down right there.
Yep. That's
Old school.
yeah. We never disrespected elders,
No,
any elder, and
no. If you did, you
that's
got
the
it when you
way.
got home too.
That's the way I raised my kids. That's I remember when the schools started teaching them about CPS,
Yeah.
and they came home and they're like, "Oh, guess what? We found out. We can call this number and they'll take us to a better place." And I'm like, "Really? Okay." Figure it'll take them about 45 minutes to get here. So you call that number, and by the time they get here, they're going to have a reason to take you to a better place. Well,
There's
they
going to
didn't
be
make
one.
that call.
Yeah, there's going to be one. You better hope they get here before I get done because there's going to be one bloody mess here. That's all I can say.
Yep. And but that's how they were
Yep.
luring them, making them think that they were getting to go to a better place, not knowing how their home life is, but teaching them that it's better in the system, really, when most of the people who are connected with the system do that to have uh, their own personal slaves, pretty much,
Yep.
or worse.
Yep. But no, I never was taught that in school because I did get a SWAT in junior high and everything
Oh yeah, I got yeah.
and things like that. And high school, we were never taught that or anything
Yeah.
like that. Of course, I went to a high school where my high school class was 11 seniors and I was ranked 6th out of my academics because I was just lazy. I just did enough to get by and
Well,
everything.
I'm old, and
Well, I am too.
that was like in the early '90s. I think is whenever. Yeah, it was early '90s when they came home and said that,
Okay.
and then they started the Dare program. Remember that?
Yeah.
Say no to drugs. That disappeared because wait, we can't teach them to say no because they'll say no to other things.
Right. They got to go along to get along and do what you're told for control.
Hmm. And then now, what do we have? A whole bunch of meth heads and people dying all over the place from fentanyl.
Yeah, McCarthy got 201, Jeffrey's got 212, and others is 20, and prison is 1. So he's hanging where he's at right now. So they're going to make the official account of this, and then they get to do it again, unless they adjourn.
Yeah.
So,
Well, it's like 4:30 there.
yep,
Yeah.
I think they might go just one more, and then they'll adjourn. Maybe.
I don't know. Look at how many things they do at 2 a.m.
Yeah,
I don't know if they ever sleep.
they probably could adjourn, go get a nap and some supper, and then come back and fly by night like on some of the stuff they do.
Mm-hmm.
Then we're going to go, huh?
Mm-hmm. Oh,
So,
Lord, I pray it doesn't go that way.
yeah, me
Please
too.
keep this one straight.
But see, right now they can't introduce any legislation or anything to be voted on until they get a Speaker of the House. Everything's put on pause right now for lawmaking. And that affects the Senate too because they need both chambers to approve something for the president to sign because just one chamber cannot do it. It has to be both.
Yeah.
That's the bright side of it. But on the bright side of it, though, who knows what they're cooking up within this silence and respite where nobody knows what they're trying to do in the background. This is just the forefront on the formalities of it, but what's going on in the background? What are they cooking up to hammer us with? Once they get it done.
This,
So,
I had heard about, uh, there's a couple of them that came out. Haven't heard one called that, but yep. Yesterday, when I had to go to my doctor, that was the first time ever I had seen him wearing a face covering. And they
yeah,
made me to go back to the room. Me and my granddaughter, they made us put one on just to walk back there. Once I got in the room, they told me I could take it off, and I was like, "Thank you," because I hate that is my absolute. I hate going to the doctor. With Medicare, you have to do an annual thing,
You
and
don't have to, but it's a good idea to do a wellness check.
right, and so that's what it was. And uh, but I was kind of surprised
Yeah.
when my doctor came in, and I was like, okay. And I know there's a lot of stuff going around. Well, and that's through Christmas when I was so sick. And if I, any YouTube channel I was watching, I would see the chat, and so many people were saying the same thing all the way across. I thought it was just in Texas because I was hearing Chuck and his family, and
Yeah.
then Rescue was having troubles with his voice, and hey Gigi and Kim, and
There's-
they just keep throwing crap at us. It's like,
They're relentless. They're still
yeah,
on that deal where there's still enough people asleep that are going to acquiesce to this BS and things is what's going
yeah,
to happen. And then we're going to be made out the villains again for not going along with the program.
yeah.
So be it. That makes me a bad person. I'm sorry. What do you think they did for thousands of years when stuff was out there and they didn't have these masks? What did they do?
That's true.
So,
Okay. See you later. Kiss off.
good
God
night, kiss
bless you.
off.
Have a
See you
good
after a
day.
while.
Yeah, I didn't think I'd be on this long, but I have really enjoyed the talk, Bruce. Thank you.
You betcha. You betcha. I just gotta,
Learned a lot in this 2 hours.
yeah, keep climbing out of my hole here, try to get my health back, which that's a chore in itself right there
Oh, I know.
and everything, because I do want to do, if I can afford it, to do some little traveling and stuff
Yeah,
one of these days. But right now, it's just too much finance problems and health and my darn eyes. I got to get to the eye doctor because at night I have a hard time seeing to drive at night right now. My glasses are only over 10 years old and
yep.
things, so I need to see about that, see if that'll improve it any, is one of
Same
the
here.
deals.
They, uh, well, I went to get new glasses because since I've been taking the vitamin A, my vision has improved.
Cool.
And so I mostly just need reading glasses, and that's all I have. But when I went to the eye doctor to get new glasses, because um, on my license I'm supposed to wear glasses,
Yeah,
she
me
wouldn't
too.
give them to me. She said I had cataracts and had to have surgery, and I was like, well, I need to see. And she said, all you need really is some readers. Just go to the dollar store and get some readers. So that's what I did. And then when I went to get my driver's license, they wouldn't give me my driver's license because I didn't have glasses on when they were telling me to read the chart.
Yeah.
Well, I couldn't read it with my readers because it was too far away and couldn't read the little small print. Nope, no license. So
Oh
my
no.
license is expired since July. Oh
Yeah,
well.
you got to do what you
But
got
I
to do.
cannot see at night. Yeah, I won't drive at night because I can't see at night. But that's my
Yeah.
goal for 23 is to get healthy and strong and be more able to fight off whatever it is they do throw out there. And getting sick set me back a little bit. Not
Yeah.
like 3 years ago, but it's still enough that it's a struggle again.
Sounds like you and I are in the same vehicle for what's going on with us, Bonnie. We got not, I say we got things in common, but I don't like to have those in common, though.
Yeah. Well, and that's, I see a lot of people with um, health issues, and
Yeah.
it's getting old
Like,
is not for the weak.
like right now, that message I sent you wanting the name of that stuff and things. This guy here, I've known him 50 years. He's 81 right now. And his protein went completely out to lunch, and he's got to be on steroids and stuff to be able to even move.
Oh my
Basically,
goodness.
basically, he's wheelchair bound, and with my wife, I had a full size van, electric wheelchair, and stuff. And they've got all of that now. They're going to buy it from me whenever they get upright. Right now everything's tagged and insured where they can get around and get him to the doctor and stuff and things is what it is. But that's what I'm doing. I'm helping with that since all I did was keep the van because it was kind of sentimental, and it where I took my wife around, and eventually I wanted to make a mobile command center out of it with two-way radios and stuff. But the way my health is, I don't think I'll ever get it built and things. And they needed, transportation and stuff, and I had the means to do it. And they're just like family to me and everything. And it's why not?
Yeah.
You know, it's being used. It just ain't setting. I might have drove it like a week total most out of the year is what I did. If you want to count all the days that I took it out on the street, and
Oh,
they
wow.
need they needed something, and if I've got it, to make life better for them, it's getting more used that way than me just being selfish and keeping it just because
Yeah.
and things. Besides that, he's helped me out when I was teenager and stuff. He helped me work on my car and stuff, stab transmissions and work on the car and all of that. And since I've got the capabilities now and he needs some help, why not? He's more like a
That's,
big brother. He's not a dad to me per se. He's only 17 years older than I am,
yeah.
but he's more like an older brother to me. Is what it is. And if he needs it, I'm I've got it. I ain't using it. I'm going to help out. That's why I'm trying to find stuff and everything. And if you possibly could send me the website to that protein stuff that you've got so I can look on it and maybe see how much it is and
Oh,
maybe
okay.
be Santa Claus and get them started on it because she went and bought for his girlfriend and stuff, bought him 4 bottles of a protein shake, which were,
Uh-huh.
like 8-ounce bottles at the most, $15.
Hmm.
Try to get his protein
Wow.
back. But if I can get him
Yeah.
something high potent and stuff like what you've got, I think that'll work wonders for him if it'll take on him.
Yeah. Well, all I did was Google standard process, and then they have a website.
Okay.
But I, I can look for that if you want me to. But yeah, it's standard process SP complete dairy free dietary supplement number
Okay.
2840, and it has a bunch of protein, uh, it has like Brussels sprouts in it. It's got um, just a lot of things that are good for you. Also, that and it builds muscle. It builds protein is essential. I mean,
Yeah, he's
even
lost all of his.
vegetarians, they're having
Yeah,
to. Yeah,
he's lost all of his muscle in his arms and stuff because he used to be one pretty stout mule until he got sick
yeah,
and stuff. Then his biceps and all of that, they just deteriorated all the
yeah.
way around.
That's what
So,
happened to me. And it's amazing how quick you can lose that muscle, but it
yeah.
takes forever to get it back. It's like, and that's when I was staying out at my mom's in the travel trailer. I was really starting to build up my muscle, and then December hit me and kind of set me back some, but not not near where I was.
Yeah.
It's I don't think it's going to take as long as it has to get where I was before Christmas. But
Yeah. Did you get a chance to look at those videos yet that I sent you?
no, I haven't. I need to do that.
Okay. Yeah, you can also do that for your mom also on their furnace or anybody that's got a central heat. You
Oh,
know.
yes, I did with the heaters. Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah,
I
you,
did
you
that.
can you can set that up on anybody's heater
Mm-hmm.
where you can on that latest one that he did, he put the inverter off his battery and put it in his vehicle and run an extension cord into the house where he can use his vehicle as a generator for it
Yeah.
and things. So I thought of you after the Snowmageddon got you down there when I seen that and everything.
Yeah.
Redneck engineer something and be the envy of the neighborhood.
That's my brother had told me to get. Uh, he said he was getting it for his place for my mother's. Where did I write it down? It's a Generac.
Yeah, those things are expensive. Those
And
Generacs are.
yeah, and that's what he said, but she can afford it.
Yeah,
And
if you
so,
can afford to go for it, I would. If I had it, I'd put one
yeah,
in my house in a heartbeat.
yep,
But you can redneck engineer at least one thing. Like in the summertime, if you have a problem with rolling blackouts,
yeah,
get an
and
extension
that's,
cord with two or three outlets on it, and depends on
yep,
what your freezer or refrigerator would, how much it would pull. You got some at least survival mode that way. I don't know how good it would work. On the air conditioner, you might just have to settle for box fans or something, and
yes,
everything that way. But like your food and stuff in the summertime, yeah, that would still work on a refrigerator or freezer or something too to keep your head above water anyway,
yeah,
and go
and that's,
go from there with that setup and everything. So
yeah,
it would it'll work in a pinch, to at least get you by. Ain't the prettiest thing in the
that's
world, but it works.
right. That's probably what I would do at my home, is
Yeah.
what you had sent. But
Or
um,
you can do it for somebody else's home too that ain't got it and wire something up right quick and get them comfortable and go back home
yeah,
and everything. You run it for a while and go back home and take care of your place. One of those deal. Possibilities are endless with that setup, man.
yeah. Well, and that's we were talking about it because she's got the well and everything. It just so much.
Yeah.
And so he said, "Well, if you get this, it does everything." that's hooked up already. And I was like, well, that
Yeah,
sounds even better. Okay, I'll
yeah,
tell mom about that.
yeah. The generators are
Hey,
good,
Hawk.
but I would have it professionally installed. Is what I would do.
Gigi, John. I don't know if I said hello to y'all.
Hi guys, same here.
How are you doing, Hawk? Haven't seen you in a little bit.
Hey Hawk,
Hi.
but
Mm,
well, I think I'm going to turn
hi.
around here and relax for a little while, Bonnie. Are you going to be back up tonight or not?
If I have internet, they've been
Oh,
uh, shutting off our internet for some reason. Well, then we
huh.
call them and they say, yeah, there is outages in the area. And I don't know what's causing the outages, and it doesn't matter which company you're with either. One
It must
company
be.
will go down, and then the next week it'll be the other one. And
See, see, a lot of them pull off of a main backbone. The super internet that's out there that they branch off of. For their own stuff and everything. And if the main internet goes down, it'll take out several little companies
yeah,
also.
yep.
So, yeah, what time do you think you might be back on, or do you know yet?
It'll probably be around 8:30,
Okay,
somewhere around there, like usual.
maybe we'll have a mushroom cloud in Washington and this thing gets done and we can talk about it.
Yeah, we'll know something by then, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. John said it looked like uh, Jeffrey's got it, but I don't
No,
know
it's
if,
got to be. It's got to be 218, and they're adjourned.
yeah. It,
House adjourned until 8 p.m. Eastern time. So it might
oh,
come 8 o'clock Washington D.C. tonight.
yep.
Yeah,
We'll still be watching it. I'm telling you, they're going to pull a 2 a.m.
yeah.
just
They'll
like they
they'll
always
probably
do.
they'll
Um,
probably go all the way through then. Take a break, go to supper, argue about this and that, or try to negotiate, and then come in and pull a fast one.
yes. Yeah, we got to pray about that.
Yeah.
That they can't do that. Huckleberry, good to see ya.
Well, I think I'm going to turn around here and rest my back for a while, Bonnie, and gonna
All
lurk at
right.
probably some other channels and stuff later and catch you tonight again, and maybe we can come off something. Don't be offended if I don't pop in right away. I kind of look and listen to see what's going on, and then if I can contribute, I'll pop in. If not, I'll lurk and I'll let you know that I'm lurking in the chat and go from there.
Oh, I understand totally, and I appreciate it.
Yeah, but we got to break the internet somehow to wake some people up. That's what we got to do at times. I'm
That's
sorry.
right. Get louder,
Yeah.
louder.
Yeah, get Chuck on here and get loud, and even guy that lives south of me, he needs to get a little louder and stuff too. Get several channels making noise and stuff, and all
Yeah.
of that. Then they take us down, and their revenue goes down. And we'll see how YouTube likes that
Yep.
because they're not getting the participants, on the channels to do stuff with. If they try to keep quashing it and all of that, sooner or later it's got to come back and bite them too.
That's true.
So, but anyway, sweetheart, it's been fun and everything. And if I shook you up, I'm sorry and all of that. I just try to speak what's true and
Oh
go
no,
from there and
no.
everything. But it's fun.
Takes
And
a little bit to shake me.
yeah,
The children shake me.
yeah,
Anything about the children that that gets me, but most of it, the other stuff is just it's frustrating and it's. But I just instantly start. Okay, what can we do about it? What can we do
yeah,
about it? Got to do something about it. But um, the children, if I see anything happening with children, I will be
yeah,
right there.
yeah, me too.
It,
Yeah, and I appreciate you letting me to come up and ranting and raving and all of that. I need to get some of this out. I've had a lot bottled up inside me at times.
oh, I understand that too. That's me too.
So,
I thought I went on a rant, and somebody
yeah,
said, "If you call that a rant," but it
yeah, get
was. I had calmed down by the time I went on, and
get a full panel
it
up here and
wasn't
have a round
a
robin and
big
let
rant.
yeah get 6 or 8 of us up here and go down the line, a round table and let us rant and raving what's on our mind and
Yeah,
have some topics for conversation and go from there. We could do it that way also, with people that might want to have
yeah,
something on their mind, now's your chance, man.
right.
That way we can
That's a good
all
idea.
get loud. That way we can all get loud and all of that, just respect. I got to go by it too, don't try to talk over people. But I got that bad habit too, Bonnie. I'm sorry.
That's okay. And I know
So,
it just happens. That's what I tell people. It just happens.
yeah. Yeah. But anyway, I'll say goodbye to chat for now and look for y'all later tonight. And love you guys. Much love and God bless everybody. And Bonnie, you take care, sweetheart. And need anything to chit chat about, you want the public to know, call me. I got weird hours.
All right. Thank you, Bruce. You
Okay. And
take care.
anybody that's got my phone number in chat, you can call me too, because it's nice to be laying here instead of surfing YouTube and trying to find something to watch and just talk to other people in our own little world here, which is fun.
Yep. All
So
right.
we'll say goodbye for now and we'll catch you later if you're up and go from there. Love you all. God bless and take care, guys.
You too. God
Uh,
bless you.
bye bye.
Bye bye. Hammer time. This is my take on the speaker. There will be no decision, and the Brunson case will overturn the election. I'm hoping. That's what I'm hoping for, Hawk. But I don't know. That's 2 days away. Oh, we'll see. Well, yeah, I just wanted to share a little news that was going on that I thought was a little bit different. I really thought from that headline that that meant, well, it still does mean right now they have no power. And so it was like, okay, they're blocked now. What can we do while they're blocked? But if they're going to keep voting, and I don't know, I don't see anything we can do even with them blocked. And I'm a little late for lunch too, Guardsman. Since you said that, I need to go ahead and get something to eat. But I will try to come on tonight and we'll see what's going on then. And hope y'all have an amazing day. Absolutely pray without ceasing. We know God's in this battle also. The spiritual warfare, the everything that's going on is, don't let it get you down. Hold on to that faith, and we're going to get through this somehow. As long as we got the internet, we're all together. Oh, somebody asked me internet providers. We have Frontier, and we have it's called Hill Country. It's a little privately owned internet provider. All right, y'all. Love y'all. God bless you. Have a good day. We'll try to see you this evening. Y'all take care. We got this. Love y'all.